Welcome to FYI. This is the left is the icon, Roy Firestone.
Thanks, Dimitri. Thank you, Robert. How are you guys? Hey, it sounds like morning radio. Okay. The Morning Zoo. They always do that. Have you ever do those sport? You see them? They have the sport morning zoo shows. I always, hey, the animal has a question for you, Dimitri. It's always the animal and the monkey and the ape.
Are they trying to get people riled up in the
morning?
morning?
Yeah, see what's happened, and we can get into it right at the top. Radio and TV sports has changed completely in the last 15 years. Now it's whoever can shout loudest, make a bigger jerk out of themselves, and get the most controversy is going to sell tickets. That's what it's become. Radio and TV sports. And you see it on cable, you see it on ESPN, you see it on Fox, you see it wherever. The guys who could be, hey, I want to tell you something, they suck. You know, they're going to get, that's what they get the attention. That's what it's turned into. And I think players, and you guys could both probably give me your view, they resent it. They resent that everything that they do is held in such a microscope that if you go 0 for 4, they got to wave his ass. He sucks, right? And the media has turned into that. It's all microscope stuff.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You know, when you mess up, they're quick to be in your face about what you're doing wrong. And then when you do well, all of a sudden they kind of forget what happened in the past, or they'll bring it up as if people have forgotten about it or that person has forgotten about it. Mm-hmm. Talking about my brother Delman Young last year. One of those things.
Here's the other part of it, and you guys would agree. Because of the internet, a scandal or an issue or something that was embarrassing never goes away. Because all you have to do is go to Wikipedia. So anyone who's doing research on a player saying, hey, in 1977, you said something that I want to bring up again. You know, so it never dies. So rumors never die, embarrassments never die.
We feel you.
I'm telling you. And I'm not just saying.
We're labeled.
I'm telling you. But there's the other side of it, too. The pressure to broadcasters to try to keep that rating thing and keep that hyper thing is getting to a point where you can't just do a relaxed, fun show. And I say this, maybe selfishly, but when I did Up Close, we had a half hour of somebody to stretch out. You can't do that anymor. Everything's, what's the soundbite? Where's the controversy? Don't forget to get in his face, And to me, I think we're poorer for it. I think broadcasting is poorer for it. I think the sports world is poorer for it. The fans are also juiced up too because they're waiting for controversy every minute. That thing that happened last week with Stephen A. Smith and that First Take show with the football player.
Talking about Rob Parker
and Skip Bayless. Well, that made more news than the actual moment did because people were making it viral on the internet, and so what it does is it feeds the need for programmers to say you got to get in his face, you got to say something, and the player is starting to fight back now, which is what we saw. A player saying you're a jerk, and I'm going to tell you why. And now I'm on live TV. You can't do anything about it. Right. And he did. It was a first. By the way, just so people know, I did not do the Jim Everett thing where the guy came across the
that was Jim Rohn. Right. I saw that. I was in
That was
A.
not me, though. A lot of people think that was me.
Well, a lot of people think that I was the guy that hit the sausage in Milwaukee, and that was Randall Simon.
I forgot about the sausage. I want to ask you about that sausage incident again.
Hey, first of all, we got to say thanks for coming.
Oh, man,
it's an honor to have you. And
you guys are really favorite players of mine. I mean, you beat the hell out of my Orioles all the time. You hit a 3-run homer one time against beat me late. I remember that one.
I love beating up on the Orioles. I had some of my best games against them.
I know you did.
And Camden Yards.
But judging by the way they had, the seasons they had, a lot of guys beat up on the Orioles. but
not anymore.
Not as much anymore. We can talk about that. Ball. Hey, can we do back and forth? I get to ask you guys questions
sure.
too?
Oh, of course.
But before you start, we got to say thanks to the armed forces.
Why you keep taking that? That is mine, man.
Hey.
Hey, I was the one that grew up in a military family.
Over here.
No, we over here. We have an icon here.
Where?
Our armed forces that are our troops out there. So we got to support them. We love you guys.
Absolutely. Well, I've done a lot of stuff for Wounded Warriors, and that's one of the big issues with these guys and gals who come back, and it's trauma, and they have to deal with the rest of their life. And in addition to the fact that you gave so much of your time, that you keep giving when you get back because your head isn't straight or your body isn't straight and your life isn't straight. I'm not saying that everybody has to give you everything, but I think they need a better chance, a better opportunity, and certainly better medical care and psychological care, too.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
So anyway, my question was, for all the great managers you played for, who was your favorite manager? And remember, Leland is listening, Frank Robinson is listening.
For me, it is a no-brainer. It's Bobby Cox. I played for him for only 1 year, but, you know, the Braves won 14 division titles in a row. And a lot of that, I believe, was without a wild card, maybe.
That was without a wild card.
So, you know, just playing for him, seeing what he does on a daily basis. He showed up at the ballpark at noon with spikes on, smoking cigars, and nobody's even at the ballpark.
I'll tell you what I heard, Robert, and you tell me if this is true. You may or may not know this. Do you know who one of the biggest celebrity fans of the Braves is? Huge. And knowledgeable, too.
Jane Fonda.
How about Elton John?
Oh, yeah.
Elton John surprised the hell out of me one time. I'm doing an interview. He says, you know, I wanted to talk to you for a great deal of time. And I said, you want to talk to me? Because I said, I know you're a soccer fan. He goes, no, I'm an Atlanta Braves fan. I want to talk to you about Furcal. Do you think that, and he's going to Furcal, and I'm going, this has got to be a put on. I said, Elton, you got to be putting me on. He says, not only not putting you on, but when we were in the Braves, were in the playoff drive, and I had a concert, I would have the game on in my ear.
What?
He said if the Braves won and he was in a good mood, he'd do another 10 minutes. If they got beat, he would just cut the show short. He was a huge Braves fan because he lived in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I wondered if he ever was in the clubhouse or came by. But Elton John, you would never think.
Singing icon.
I mean, I'm talking
From
about
England.
a knowledgeable baseball fan. Knew all the lineups and he was talking
Can you
about
get him
Maddox.
on our show?
Maybe.
All right.
You never know. You never know. So, and you, what was your favorite manager?
Wow,
Who was your
I
favorite?
had a lot of managers. I started out with Tony La Russa. He was tough on rookies.
Yep.
Then I went to Cincinnati. I had Jack McKeon.
Oh, wow.
I love
Trader
him.
Jack.
Yes, love him. And I had Bob Boone as well.
Wow.
Then when I went to Detroit, I had Phil Gardner, scrap iron for 6 games, and then he got fired. And then we had Louis Pujols.
Louis Pujols, not Alberto.
Smartest manager ever, Louis Pujols.
Hold on to that thought. Then we had Alan Trammell for 3 years, and that's when we had the worst record in baseball.
Wow, I
43
remember that. And the next
119.
year blew it up.
And then we had Jim Leland, who was a great manager. I only had him for 1 year. I had a bunch of personal turmoil I was going through. And then my last manager was Manny Acta.
Manny Acta.
Good guy.
And you told me something about Frank, too, Frank Robinson.
Frank, oh man, Frank was the probably the worst manager I ever played for, but I love him to death. Frank was, I just think time had passed him up. You know, he was kind of old, but he still had the fire in him to fight you or get in your face. Like
he knew what he wanted to do. Maybe is that right? But maybe he couldn't convert it onto the field or couldn't motivate certain kind of players.
Right. And I just don't think he was too much into it anymore. Like I said, he was old, but I don't have a bad thing to say about him. Bless his heart.
You know, I was a bat boy for the Orioles. I told you guys this before when I was 15 years old. So I grew up with Frank. And when Frank, as a player, walked into the clubhouse, even though it was spring training, the whole place changed. You ever have players who walk in and they walk in the clubhouse and suddenly you can feel something?
Feel their aura?
Yeah. And this was Frank Robinson. He walked in there like he owned the joint. And he did. He was arguably and maybe the most underrated, super great player of all time in terms of never gets mentioned in the same breath as the DiMaggios and the Ruths and the Ted Williams.
Which he should be.
He should be. He's in that category. I mean, he could. I said, what was your biggest regret? He said, I didn't hit 600. I could have easily, if I stuck around for another, I think he...
What was he, about 17 away? Was
yeah,
it
16, 17 away.
Like
so he was...
586.
Yep.
But he at times he's sour, and times he is ornery. He reminds me a little bit of a kind of a baseball equivalent to Bill Cosby, in the sense he's an icon, he's a giant, but sometimes Bill Cosby says stuff that people can't believe he's saying. Frank would do the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Anyway, those are some of my thoughts.
I played for Bochy, too. I got to give him his props.
Yeah.
You know, I know he's won the World Series 2 out of the past 3 years.
Yeah.
Boch is a cool dude, man.
What about your boy Lou Piniella?
He looks like he had a little bit of
no comment.
a hot iron going at all times.
Let's move on. What else you got for us, Roy?
I want to ask you guys, because I just did a baseball show in Los Angeles. I'm doing TV in L.A. for Fox Sports.
Oh, so are we.
That's it. You are. You guys did it this morning.
Yes.
If I'm going to give you a theory, and you guys tell me if I'm getting in the right direction. Dodgers, Angels, of course, everything is huge in this town, in Los Angeles. My contention is, with the Dodgers were third from last in runs scored last year, even with all the additions they made. Everyone thinks, wow, that's what a great offensive juggernaut. Third from last.
They had Adam Kennedy batting fifth.
Right. Well, but I mean, I'm talking about.
I saw him hit cleanup once.
Oh.
Even after they acquired Gonzalez and Crawford and all that, they still end up third from last in all of baseball. My contention, and the Angels were very mediocre after you get past Jared Weaver. I know he was on the other day. The Angels' pitching was not that great. It's C.J. Wilson, Weaver, and that was pretty much it. They're probably even less now. My contention is the very moves they made were the wrong moves, that the Dodgers should have gotten Josh Hamilton, and the Angels should have re-signed Zach Greinke, and that would have made them even better. Your thoughts?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head right there. The Angels do need more dominant pitching outside of C.J. Wilson and, of course, Jared Weaver. You know, they did make moves, but they don't have the guys strong enough. The Dodgers, Carl Crawford still injured. They're talking about moving Andre Ethier, and then that number 66 Cuban guy.
Yasiel Puig.
Thank you, because I could not pronounce that.
Let me tell you what Charlie Steiner, the radio Dodger guy, said to me. He said, Roy, I am not a hype guy. I've watched baseball for 40 years, broadcast for 40 years. He said, this guy is a football player in a baseball player's body. He runs like the wind. He's the fastest guy on the team. He crushes AAA and Major League guys. I know it was spring training. He said, and he throws like, here it is, Clemente. I said, are you got to be kidding me?
Wow.
So they sang this Yasiel Puig, who they did sign to $42 million for 7 years. Something's going to give. Either they're going to stay with Crawford, they got 5 more years at $20 million for Crawford, or they're going to do something, but this kid is going to have to play.
Well, they've been talking about, the offseason getting rid of Ethier or possible trade rumors.
Right.
I played with Carl Crawford, and I know he's been hurt the past couple of years, but you won't find a better dude, better teammate. That guy wants to be...
That's no knock on him as a person at all. He's got an elbow surgery, too,
I know. He wants to be the best, and I think they know that, That's why they made the deal. Why would you eat that contract,
Well, they may not eat it. Maybe they'll move Ethier out and move Crawford to right. Or maybe move Yasiel Puig to right. That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Can Puig play center?
Move Kemp to right?
Why not?
Maybe.
All I'm saying to you is the buzz, and also Jack Bradley Jr., the kid from Boston.
Yes.
Those are the two guys this spring that I keep hearing. Oh, and I went down to Sarasota. I saw him play, and this kid can rake.
Yeah.
I watched
He hit
him.
Dylan Bundy's pitch, the first pitch he saw, on a laser to left field for a double. But I think it's going to be a very, very interesting season with some up-and-coming players. You're going to see it.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Baseball is real exciting, especially this spring training.
All right, my turn.
Yeah.
I got a question for
Go
you.
forth. Fire away.
What haven't you accomplished that you would like to do? I mean, when we
7
Google
Emmys.
you and we look at you and do all our homework on you, it's like, geez, man.
I'll tell you something that I first of all love interviewing on television. And as I said before, the way the industry is now, everything's sound bites. Everything's 20 seconds, and usually stuff where somebody gets in someone's face and screams or cries or something. But I love long-form interviewing, and I did it for 22 years at ESPN. Did 5,000 interviews, literally. But I just did a show for public broadcasting where I get to interview musicians. Everybody from David Foster to Burt Bacharach to all these great players, Chris Bodie, a great horn player, and all these people. And I had such a ball because we get to talk about the mechanics of music and the songwriting and and David Foster talking about After the Love Is Gone, and he plays it and talking about it, and then he goes to Earth, Wind, and Fire. It was a dream job for me. And I also got to do sports guys. I had Andre Agassi and some other people. But I did 13 shows, and it was the only place left to do it where you can stretch out and talk like the Actors Studio about a guy's career and his life. Like, you guys both, but Dimitri specifically, I would have loved to have had on the ESPN show because you have a lot of range. Both of you do, but I'm just saying Dimitri has a wide story.
Thanks, Roy.
Yeah. We would have had you at the tail.
I ride his coattail all the time. I'm good with it.
But I mean, your stories are amazing.
Still better looking than
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah. It's because you lost all that weight doesn't mean you ain't ugly.
Robin, the makeup lady,
Yeah.
spent 10 minutes. We were late on the show today because she had to put 10 pounds of makeup on this birthday cake face.
Maybe the makeup didn't work on you.
Oh, I'm beautiful. She just patted it down a couple of times and gave me a kiss on the cheek.
I know Robin, too. She's great. They loved you, by the way, on Fox this morning. The other thing I was going to say is I love working. I love anything. I do personal appearances all over the country, do hundreds of them. I do a lot of charity work. But I love doing this. That's why I take everything. I love all of broadcasting. I love the microphone. I like the crews. I like the TVs. I like the sitting across from people, getting into their heads. Joe Madden, for example, would have been another great guy.
Yeah.
What an interesting guy he is.
That's a good one.
I was sitting there talking to him the other day. People turn me on, and I love being. Basically, if you're saying what it is, keep doing it. It's the best answer for me. I'd love to keep doing it. It's like, wouldn't you guys, if you could play forever, pretty much? If you could?
If we could, yes, but now I'm into the coaching scene.
Oh, really?
I really like
Well,
that
that's sort of
aspect
coaching and playing is sort of similar, though.
Yeah, except the physical part is not involved anymore.
Right.
If I could be in the big leagues forever, I'd be in the big leagues.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You know, what a life. What an amazing life it is, too.
You know, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
With you being a pioneer in the sports talk industry, how was it starting from scratch, having to bounce around and doing that?
It's not unlike being a minor league guy. You know, at least if you're signed by an organization, you get released. You get scared. Is this going to be it? Have you ever released? You never were released as a young player.
No,
never. That's scary, right? Because you're saying, am I going to be able to turn this around? Well, when you're released, quote unquote, as a young broadcaster, you got to go to think about El Paso now. You got to think about, my father once, I got canned in Miami, my hometown, and I got an offer in Des Moines, Iowa. Not a knock in Des Moines at all. It's a great place. But my father says, you to take this job, it's only 11 hours out of Chicago. I said, Mars is 11 hours out of Chicago. I said, I don't know about Des Moines, but you have to think about it. And if you're a player and you get released, you got to think about, do I play in Japan? Do I play here? And that's what it's like. It's like you just don't know it when you get cut and you get disappointed and you feel like it's over, and someone else controls it too. Right. That's it. When you control it with your bats, you do the talking. Sure. But when somebody is subjectively saying, I don't know if I like his style anymore, I'll just get somebody else. That's the judgment on your whole talent based on his opinion.
Right.
They don't have an opinion if you guys hit a 3-run jack. The opinion is he won the game for us, game over.
Correct.
There's a huge difference in those two worlds because of that.
What's your love?
Hold on. We have a caller.
Oh,
sorry, we have a caller.
We got one of those.
Yes.
Hello, hi. It's the Sports Shoe with the animal. Hello.
Yeah, what's up, Robert Fick? This is your boy Kenny Mack calling.
Hey, Kenny, how's it going, buddy?
It's going great, man. It's going great. I just wanted to, first of all, thank you for all those tickets that you got for me. And even Dimitri got me tickets one time in Boston, which was really awesome. I stopped him on the street outside of the hotel. I dropped your name, and he hooked your boy up.
Wait a minute. This Kenny Mack from back in the day? What's going on?
Red Sox.
Yeah, what up, Dimitri? Hook? I can't
Red
believe
Sox
you got Pat
Nation.
Dimitri on your Twitter page, man. What's up with that?
What'd he say?
What was that? I couldn't hear you.
You got hooked up in the
I said you got Big Dimitri on your Twitter page instead of Skinny Dimitri.
Well, can't forget the past.
I hear you, big dog. I hear you.
Hey, we're sitting here beside icon Roy Firestone from
the legendary Roy Firestone, never choked out by
legend.
Jim Everett.
and he's not going to make me cry today.
That's right. We could talk about that one, too. But here's another one I got for you. You can stay on the phone if you want for a second, because this is a good way of doing it. You don't have to.
I'm happy to.
You don't have to identify the player. If it protects it. What's the weirdest thing or the weirdest player you ever saw in your life, and that they did something that was really odd, or the strangest thing you've ever seen? It. You don't have to identify. That way it protects you. So you can just say, I had a teammate, or I saw a guy who did this. Anything really weird in baseball?
You mean like cracking backs in the shower?
What? That's strange.
Brian Giles used to, not weird, but weird. He would, on the team bus, he'd come to the back of the bus and get completely naked and walk through the aisle of the bus back to the front of the bus.
Wow.
And grab the microphone and start talking on the mic in front of everyone.
Wow.
Start calling the rookies up. One time in San Francisco, the bus driver hit the brakes and his ass went smashing up in the window.
Oh, so he had an ass print on
Ass in the bus driver's face.
How about weird sayings? Was there anybody who had a weird saying, a coach or a player or somebody that would just say something really odd that you just said, what does that mean?
I know I've been known to saying a couple of things.
Like?
Bitch, from Dave Chappelle.
That's right.
Do that again.
Oh, shit, that's funny.
Bitch.
I used to love when Dave Chappelle did Rick James. That's still my favorite.
I'm Rick James, bitch.
That's right. It was the best ever. He's making a comeback too. Do you see that?
Yes.
Big.
I'm
Well, he does
happy
not.
for
It's
that.
not really a comeback. He's just going to go back to performing again. He didn't need to make a comeback if he didn't want to. That's legendary stuff with Chris Rock. Going out on the road with Chris.
What?
The two of them.
They both kind of look alike, too.
That's right.
They're going to get them mixed up.
But anyway, so do you have a question for me by any chance, caller?
Well, actually, I had a question for all three of you guys, as much as you know about baseball. It used to be that, for a team to get to 95 wins, which basically guaranteed them a playoff spot, the formula was you wanted 15 wins out of your starters, or I should say 60 wins out of your starters, and 35 wins from your bullpen.
Yep.
And is that still sort of the formula, or is it more like you want to just get guys who can grind out 200 innings for you and put you in a position to win games, as opposed to having designated starters and designated relievers who are going to get you that 60-35?
Wow, I really like that question. That was very complex, but if I was looking for, I would personally look for the grinders, guys that can go out there and perform every single day, even when they're hurting. Mm-hmm. So
Like Verlander.
Yeah, somebody that wants the ball. I don't want a guy that's afraid of the ball every 5 days or when a
You can tell when a player's afraid of the ball.
Oh my God, yes. You can see it in their face. You can watch their emotions in the locker room.
Wow.
And it's just people reading, and you can read that from people. I can read people on the mound if they
his ass is tight. You can see the ass is tight.
Happens a lot at Fenway Park.
Yeah.
Ooh, Wrigley Field.
Yankees
That's a shot.
But you know what? From a technical standpoint, what the Orioles did last year is they got almost no output in terms of major innings from their starters, but the bullpen were the heroes.
Out.
Just so if you can get to the fifth now, and the fifth,
that pitch count thing.
I mean, it's 100. At 100, it's over. So if they could keep it close, and they had like a historic, I don't know what it was, 19 extra inning wins,
games,
and they had like 36 and 4, something like that, in one-run games because their bullpen kept them in it. So the starters didn't have to be great; they just had to be okay.
The Red Sox should have got Buck Showalter.
Yeah, that's right. You're called,
dude. Vicky, we've talked about this,
Dude,
man.
Bobby V.
That was terrible with those
Bobby
dentures.
V experiment was such a mistake. I am dying for a real major league manager.
They should have hired Gene Lamont when they hired Bobby Valentine. Gene Lamont's more of a people manager.
calms people down.
Yes.
Yeah. You can see he's always been Leland's guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of the AL East this year? I mean, the Red Sox and the Yankees are looking like cellar dwellers
Blue Jays.
all of a sudden.
It's kind of hard not to pick the Blue Jays, but I heard Ricky Romero's getting beat up pretty good in spring training. I mean, he
He got beat up last year.
Yeah, but I'm saying that
he could probably have a twinge in his shoulder or something, and guys like that are they have too much machismo to say, "Ouch, I'm hurt."
Yeah, well, he got beat up again today as we speak. But I could tell you, with Dickey and Josh Johnson and Brandon Morrow. Is it Morrow or Morrow? Morrow. I always get the pronunciation Morrow, and then it goes on and on. I mean, that's
Burley.
I mean, they're loaded. Burley too, that's an innings.
Reyes is my pick for the MVP.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Playing on the
MVP?
hard surface, playing like that.
No, it's the best place in the league to hit.
It's bad for his back though. And he's had back and shoulder problems and lower back problems.
But he's
Hey, let me ask you guys.
There, and the ball flies. He's going to hit 25 homers. You watch.
He won't hit 25. What's up, Kenny?
Let's bet.
Let me ask you guys one more thing, and then I got to jet to Club Thorogood.
Go ahead.
What do you think about the stat that more men have walked on the moon, 12, than have scored against Mariano Rivera in the playoffs?
Is that a great?
Wow, that's a good one there.
That's a good one. Well, I guess what was the God? I'm drawing a blank. The guy who blooped the hit for the Diamondbacks.
Luis Gonzalez.
That's
Luis
one.
Gonzalez,
For the rest of his life, it'll be on his mantelpiece. It was not only the game winner; it was off the greatest
Dude,
of all.
it was first and third, one out. The infield should have been back.
That's
Middle
right.
Infield should have been back.
That's right. If it wasn't back, they'd probably catch that ball too.
Yeah, one of Joe Torre's many mistakes.
That's right. Not many.
This is the best baseball show on the internet, you guys.
What's that? What do you say?
This is the best baseball show on the internet, you guys. I absolutely love it. I'm going to watch it, listen to it every week. By the way, Robert, you were right last week. That dude Darren screwed you. if you got it on iTunes, on my iTunes subscription, the Dick and Darren show showed up last week instead of you guys.
Don't.
What a dick!
Don't close out the Orioles either. By the way, that was not a fluke last year. Not a fluke. So we'll see.
All right,
we'll see what happens.
Keep up the great work, guys. Roy, great appearance on the show.
Thank you.
Thanks, homie.
Thank you, brother.
All right, guys. Peace.
Peace.
So, do we want to do some of these? You want to have some fun with this now?
Yeah, I
we're
thought
ready for
Frank
this.
Sinatra
We don't have any commercials to go to,
Actually,
right?
we do have one commercial.
Okay. And why don't we do when we come back from the commercial? We have superstar musical people coming on the show.
Yeah.
All right, we have a who's who, right?
Yes, we do.
All right. Yes. Breakdown.
Here, you know, I have this podcast
Thanks, Jansen.
at the John Lovitz Network, and I'm just really working off some of the money that I owe John for the 3 years that I opened for him on the road. You know, John has kind of a different system where you have to pay him to work with him, and apparently I ran up quite a bill. So anyway, I'm doing this podcast, and if you have any sponsorship ideas, please let me know, because I have to pay John back, and this guy's a freak.
Hey guys, this is Danny Trejo, and when I'm in Huntington Beach, I go to my favorite restaurant, the second floor. The second floor has my favorite food, and man, you have to see their colossal burgers. You need a damn machete just to cut them. And they were just voted the best fusion art restaurant. Tattoo art from some of the biggest names like Jack Rudy and Rick Walters. Every Thursday night, art shows featuring legends to local artists come in, and you can meet them in person. You can buy the art right off the walls, and all sales go right to the artist. After 10 p.m. Thursday through Saturday, well-known DJs spinning an eclectic mix of music, and you gotta check out their late night menu. Go visit them on the web, check out their great menu, upcoming art shows, and your favorite DJ. Located at 126 Main Street, downtown Huntington Beach. Second floor. I'll see you there.
Hi, this is Gary Garver. Listen to my show every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific on the GoCast Network. It's controlled chaos. That's right, controlled chaos. Right here, 5 p.m. Pacific, every Wednesday on the GoCast Network.
Greg Buckstar Sides here for the GoCast Network.
I'm Gary Garver, formerly of the Howard Stern Show, and I love the GoCast Network, Greg. It's awesome.
I love the GoCast Network too, and you know what I love about it is the partnerships we have, like with Ustream.
I dig Ustream.
Me too. What a great place to watch live content, like we do 30 shows a week live.
Yeah, we're kicking ass here at the GoCast Network. And how can people check out our shows on Ustream?
Well, what they can do is they can go to gocastnetwork.com, click on the little live preview, boom. It opens right up. You're watching on GoCast, and bonuses to Ustream, because guess what? It's their little thing.
We got some great shows here.
We do.
Check us out. GoCast Network.
GoCast Network.
Before you hit fast forward, listen to this.
It's the big hot rockin', non-stoppin', less talking, boss jockin', head knocking, finger popping, yanking, cranking, hiney spanking, wham bam, thank you ma'am, 50,000 watt blowtorch of rock and roll. That is the Dick and Darren Show.
Dick and Darren downloaded 185 episodes. It's pretty good for you. You'll like it. Up in your ear hole.
On the GoCast Network.
We're back on the GoCast Network.
Welcome back. Welcome back. We are here with Roy Firestone.
Yeah.
And the Babe Ruth baseball.
Look at this baseball. Can we got a shot of this right here? People can see this. This is my ball, and I know you're a collector, Dimitri. That's why I brought it in.
Yeah, I was going to trade you for the Detroit Tiger hat signed by me, Delman, and Robert Fick.
You know what I loved about the Babe? Did you ever see his, not the home runs, the batting averages? 370, 390, 384. This guy was a hitter, not a home run, not just a home run hitter. The greatest, Ted Williams told me he's the greatest hitter of all time. Babe Ruth.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I mean, people talk only about the home runs. He could do doubles in the gap. He early in his career he could run. People know he could run, and he pitched. Greatest all-around baseball player who ever lived. Still, after 80 years, 90 years.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yep.
I mean, the record speaks for itself when he pitched in Boston, and then when he was traded to the Yankees and turned into a home run hitter, he was hitting more home runs than teams.
That's right, exactly. You have a ball? You have a Babe Ruth ball?
I had a ball, but just like everything else, I sold it. With the 500 home run ball collection with with, what was that auction house? It doesn't matter. But I sold it with them a few years ago, and then I sold my baseball card collection through SCP Auctions. The same people who sold the Hannes Wagner rookie card. And
what was your top number of cards at any one point?
In the auction, I had 500 cards up for auction, and they're all Gem Mint 10 rookies from PSA.
Wow. Great stuff. This is my pride and joy, so I thought I brought it in. But I want to have a little fun now. We're going to do this? I'm going to put this back over here. Whoops.
No, keep it. Yeah, let everybody see it. Except we're going to see Ed Lopat's name.
Okay. That's Ed Lopat, yeah. I'll put that back over here. Okay. We'll get it back there. Okay. I didn't realize.
There we go.
So who's coming by?
Well, you know, I want to have a little fun with you because people know that I do this around the country. Some people know I've been doing it I've done 22 years of this. Different voices of different people over the years, and I want to start with what would it be like if Muhammad Ali and Howard Cosell were back together in their primes in this day and age as rappers. Okay. Listen. Here we go. Hello, everybody. I'm Howard Cosell. Without further ado, there's the opening bell. We're here today to view and observe a three-time champ with a hell of a nerve. He fought all comers with speed and savvy, though in later years, he got rather flabby. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Muhammad Ali.
Howard Cosell, I hear what you say. You're full of hot air, you got a bad toupee. I fought with style, I fought with class, and you ain't nothing but a pain in my ass.
There it is, that's it. Howard Cosell and Muhammad Ali, everybody, there it is. So that's the first of many. We're going to do a whole bunch of stuff. And
how'd you do that? That is incredible.
Well, I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm going to give you some different people. I just need a little more background in my head, and we're going to do. You know, we have so many people here, Robert and Dimitri, that you one of your favorites too. I know you're a big Frank Sinatra guy. Big Frank.
Yes.
Yes, you are.
We do it our way.
And Robert, we know, is a fan of the Village People. So,
hey.
Here it is. Here we go. Here is Frank Sinatra doing a Village People song. Young man, I was once in your shoes. I said, old man, I once had the blues. I know there's a place I can go, even if I'm hanging out with Robert Thicke and Dimitri Young on this show. 2, 3, 4, YMCA. YMCA. You can do anything. It's your personal choice. You might even want to dance with all those Thousand Oak Boys. And right here in YMCA, there it is, Frank Sinatra right there doing the YMCA. We love that one too. So who else do you? Now you're a Detroit guy, right? You love. Who would you say are some of your Motown favorites?
I love some Smokey Robinson.
You do? Well, it just so happens. Oh, he's stepping up to the microphone right here at the Robert Frick at the Dimitri Young the Sports Zoo.
I took you wrong. My heart went out to play, but in the game I lost you. What a price to pay. Ooh, baby, baby. Ooh, baby, baby. Ooh, Dimitri Young. Ooh, I loved you in Detroit, baby. I loved you in Motown, baby. Ooh, Robert Frick, you're not so bad yourself, baby, baby.
Thanks, Smokey.
Ooh, baby, baby. Ooh.
77.
There he is, Smokey Robinson. So much, too much show, isn't it?
Ew.
Except we got some more. We have some people coming on your show that you won't believe. You were 70s guys. I mean, you're probably, what, 8 at 7? No, how old were you in the 70s? You probably don't even remember these guys, but we're going to bring them here anyway. I feel like Casey Kasem, count them down. The year was 1977, and the Bee Gees stepped forward with this number one song. Here they are. Ladies and gentlemen, Casey counted down as the Bee Gees stepped up to the microphone.
Good morning, Mr. Sunshine. You right then. You sit outside and lonely days, lonely nights. How come I sing just like a woman? Lonely days, lonely nights. How come I sing just like a woman?
There they are, the Bee Gees, right there.
I gotta give it up. That was awesome.
Wait a minute. You know what?
You're
the one
killing
guy,
me, Roy.
the one guy that you didn't get to meet, and he would have been a big Detroit Tiger fan, even though he was a Hollywood guy. You know what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Sammy Davis Jr.
Oh, yeah.
Sammy Davis Jr., big sports fan. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome in Sammy.
Hey, kids, I'm going to do a ditty for you that I dig a lot, that made me a lot of money. And I want to be honest with you. I dig singing it, performing it, and I'm still known for it. Who can make the sun rise? Sprinkle it with dew. Carry with chocolate and a miracle or two. The Candy Man. Oh, the Candyman can. The Candyman can, 'cause he mixes it with love and makes the world taste good.
There he is, Sammy Davis Jr. There it is. That's great. Well, we love Sammy very much. But
can you stay forever?
But you know who I know you guys have to be fans of. Mr. Neil Diamond is here.
Oh, yeah.
Here he goes.
At Washington.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is Neil Diamond. Here we go. All the people around the world, they come to America. And the people with the flag unfurled will come to America. And they come with a singular joy. They'll come to America. Come on, Dimitri, don't call him boy. Come to America. My country, 'tis of thee. I'm glad Robert Thicke had played for me. Of the I sing today. Neil Diamond, everybody. Oh, what can I say? I just, well, you know, I got to go back down memory lane, too, because Johnny Mathis is also here. Johnny Mathis, guy you don't hear much from anymore, but here he is singing that big hit from 1959, a little song called Misty. Johnny, step up.
Look at me. I am as helpless as the kitten I play. Never knowing my left foot from my right, my eye from my glove. I got misty and too much in love. Oh, look at me.
There he is, Johnny Mathis, everybody, on the morning show.
That is some great stuff right
So
there.
having fun. So having a good time. So this is what I do. I go around the country. I also do some serious stuff, talking about sports, about life. And I have a blast. I've been doing it for 22 years. So a lot of people say, what has ever happened to him? This is what I do. I was just at the show, did a show at the Library of Congress last Tuesday. Incredible. I love this line. because we're doing this, and it's the biggest library in the world. I mean, especially a collector like yourself is seeing millions and millions and millions and millions of books, the biggest library on the planet. Groucho Marx said, outside of a dog, a book is a man's best friend. But inside of a dog, it's too dark to read. That's the best line I ever heard of mine. Well, how about one more? We do a little Tony Bennett. What do you think? Now, you never got to play in the Bay Area. Either of you did?
No.
This
Played
is
against them.
This is the song. Tony Bennett. I left my heart. Hey, it's Dimitri Young and Robert Fick. I'm so great to be here in San Francisco. Hey, what a great day. I feel like I'm always ready to go above the blue. And the Giants keep winning, too. And windy seas. When I come home to you in the FYI show, I'm always happy to be everywhere because I'm Tony Bennett. The golden sun will shine for me. Tony Bennett, it's almost too much show. Unbelievable. It's almost too much show. I think it is too much show, as a matter. So that's what I do.
Do you teach impressions?
You know what? I think I could. You already have a good you have a good mimic's voice. We're doing that Dave Chappelle thing.
Well, I need practice. I want to learn from a master like yourself. That was incredible.
I tell you what,
I got the Spicoli thing down pretty good.
Which
of course you do.
I can tell you that I love voices and sounds that I did as a kid. I love all the great impressionists, but I also love the announcers too. You keep talking. I'm gonna get you a typical baseball announcer guy. Okay?
How's Chris Berman while you're talking about
I know Chris a little bit, but I don't know him that well. But here's the way a baseball announcer sounds like.
Okay.
Well, hi again, everybody. Stepping up to the plate right now is Rodrigo Garcia, batting .265 with 11 home runs and 65 RBIs. Interesting story about Garcia. In the offseason, he tried to stage a military coup against his government. There's a pitch fouled out of play, 1-1. Hey, speaking of Garcia, don't forget next Saturday night is Honor Third World Nation Night. The first 5,000 of our fans from Third World Nations will receive a Chevy Camaro. and the first 2,500 of them will get to strip the cars right behind second base. Don't forget, 3 weeks from Saturday night, one of our great promotional nights. That's right, fans. Come one, come all. It'll be hard liquor and handgun night. So until then, we'll see you next time, and so long, everybody. That's the way they sound. Baseball, right there. I love the way they sound. Dum, bum, bum, bum. Do they still have organs? I don't think they have organs at baseball anymore, do they?
No.
Not many. Dodger Stadium still has the organ, right?
Mm-hmm. But where else had an organ? Was it Detroit?
Yeah, some of them do. Fenway, does Fenway still have it? But how about football announcers? Like baseball's full of kind of laid back, kind of the disc jockey sound. Mm-hmm. Hi again, everybody. Oh, he's so happy. Hi again, everybody.
You sound like Tom Brenneman.
Hi and hello again, everybody. How about Harry?
Oh, yeah.
How about Harry? Hi.
Can we borrow your glasses?
Hi. These aren't big enough. Hi. I'm going to get props for doing this show. I want to tell everybody that I had a chance to watch Robert Fick play. He wasn't that good. I saw Dimitri Young hit a 3-run homer against my Cubs. And I'm saying to myself, what have we got here? We got bigger glasses. Holy cow. Maybe these are too shady.
I have to tell you a true story. I'm not going to denigrate Harry's memory. I loved Harry with all my heart, so you have to know this. But it just shows you how old school he could be. And I'm telling you, this is a true story. You can look it up. I'm in the booth one night with Steve Stone and Harry. This has got to be in the early 80s. And he means no harm by it. He doesn't have a mean bone in his body, but he's just thinking, because he was train of thought, Harry.
You know, Steve, I'm sitting here watching the Cubs play, and Nomo's pitching for the Dodgers. And I'm wondering, do you think the Asian guys have an advantage because they have the slanty eyes? I mean, if he's got the move to first base, you don't know if he's coming home or if he's throwing to first.
This is a true story. Now, I'm sitting there, I'm watching Steve Stone, like his eyes popping out of his head, and I hear Arnie in the truck going, get him off it, get him off it. No more, no more. No, I just want to know. He keeps going back. He keeps going back to it. I don't mean any harm, but I really want to know, because all the Asian guys have slanty eyes. And he's getting it deeper and deeper and deeper. And the next day, it was all gone. He didn't care because it was Harry. It was just Harry. So here's...
he was grandfathered?
Yeah, he was grandfathered. So here's one of my all-time favorite football announcers, ABC's Keith Jackson. Here it is.
Is ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Well, hello, get about this Keith Jackson and Nelly. We've got a real plan ready for you. Yes, indeed, college football at its very best. It'll be the Proctologists from Johns Hopkins University taking on the Big Red Suicide Machine from Jack Kevorkian Junior College. And there's going to be a whole lot of head cracking in the football for you. Let's pick up the action right here, right now on ABC Sports Division II College Football. Here it is. Okay. John Allison rolls on the right side. He's got to run the 35 to 30, 25 to 20. He could go all the way, but he's hit and cracked and fumbled. Oh, Nelly, there it is. That's Keith Jackson for you. That's the way he sounds.
That's the great stuff.
So that's what I do. That's what I do. And I still love doing the sports. I still love doing the interviewing, and I still love performing live. But I love the idea of doing this. This is great to be able to have the theater of doing this and performing and having fun, taking calls and talking about stuff. It's the best ever. Really, really is the best stuff.
We're having a blast doing it.
You guys should, because this, I mean, baseball, it's a grind, right? Mm-hmm. And this is love. And this is, well, it was love for you guys too, baseball, but it's pressure too. I mean, people try to say, oh, if they can't play for the love of the game. Well, it's a business too, right? And it's a tough business, and it's cruel. You've probably seen a lot of heartbreaking things too, where you hate to see somebody get cut and waved, and it was his dream. But this is fun too. I mean, there's pressures of this too, but it's not the same thing in broadcasting. It's not nearly the same. You don't have to hit a 97-mile-an-hour Verlander pitch that just go. What's it like to swing against Verlander? Did you face him much?
No, I never faced Verlander.
Ever?
No.
Isn't that ironic? You never had to go the other side.
I played with him, but we never faced each other when I was in Washington.
Wow.
So I would have loved to have faced him.
Really?
And knocked that smirk off his face and dropped that meat hook on him. All 320 pounds.
That's right. You lost the 80. I guess you've been saying that a lot on this broadcast. But I mean, I walked in, Dimitri, I'm used to seeing, Santa Claus, and this guy looks like Chris Rock now.
Oh, dang.
I thought he looked
like calling me
Usain Bolt. That's who you
Usain Bolt.
Hold on. Can I borrow that hat real quick? Hey, Robert, who's this?
Man.
Very good. Now, hey, I want to ask you about Rodney for a second. Do you think that players really hate that stuff when they come back the next day and they want to see him even more because they did that?
You know what? The reason why I did that was because Fernando Rodney was a rookie in 2002 with us in Detroit.
Right.
And he wore his hat against the Baltimore Orioles. You remember that in Baltimore? Just like that. He got in his ass so much, the hat only went crookeder. That hat never got hit.
And we had a Latin manager, so they let him get away with it. Louis Pujols let him get away with it. So.
No, but I'm saying to the players on the other side and the dugout say, boy, that whole Archer thing, you got to put that away because we're going to make you cry.
I say certain people, the whites, definitely. The blacks, we over there. I'm laughing at it. I wanted the Dominican to win just because of the antics. But the Orientals, they don't give it.
The game's changed. It's not. There's no more old school throwback guys. There's very few that even give a shit. You know what I mean?
Do the closers though have to get their to get an amped up, to really get it up to 97, 98, 100, and they get their adrenaline. And I'm not even talking about game over Gagne, because he was all juiced up anyway. He admits it. But I'm talking about guys who, he was, but guys who really have to use the act to really get into those last two batters, to really fire themselves up. They really have to get their whole head in that.
You have to be nuts to be a closer. Not everybody can throw in the ninth inning to get those last 3 outs. I was in Detroit in 2005 where we had 3 closers. Fernando Rodney, Uguet Urbina.
Oh, yeah.
No, Rodney wasn't even a closer. It was Uguet Urbina, Troy Percival, and Kyle Farnsworth.
Ooh.
Those 3 guys were all lights out, and we wound up trading them all.
Wow. But, I mean, their spirit, you think a closer's spirit is different than a middle relief guy?
Yeah.
You can't talk to them during the game, before the game, or
you can. It all depends. Some guys have that act. I was lucky enough to play in San Diego with Trevor Hoffman, who's like my favorite teammate of all time.
Right.
Sorry, D, but
he's lying.
Trevor, he just act like it was any normal day. He had his preparation, getting ready for the game, but he was an intense dude, but not like that. But I respected him so much because he was throwing 84, 85 miles an hour then, and he'd go out there and he'd give it up and he'd come right back down, sit down, and root for his teammates.
Did he give up those home runs against the Dodgers?
He did. He gave up
how many of those?
2 of them. 2 of the 4, I think.
4 in a row.
Yeah.
Who was the guy? I'll tell you, Papelbon.
Marlon Anderson hit one of those.
Papelbon bothers me, and here's why he bothers me. Not that he's a Red Sox guy or former Red Sox guy, but it's that whole where he does that face.
Right.
You can see he's really playing it for the camera. Yeah, I think, because he doesn't have to do that, and it makes me want to win even more when he's doing it.
But he's been successful with it.
He has. But, I mean, Mariano Rivera doesn't do anything, and he's the greatest who ever lived and will ever live doing that.
You know how many bats he's broken over his lifetime?
What's it like to face? You get that asked a lot, but what's it like? What's it like?
You want to go first because mine's embarrassing.
When anybody asks you, who's the toughest pitcher you ever faced, I say 99 out of 100 dudes will say Mariano Rivera. That one pitch, throwing it at you, there's nothing you could do about it.
It's a split.
It's a cutter.
Is it a fork? Is it like a fork?
No, it's a fastball that acts like a slider. It just
it just turns to the last.
The way he grips it, it runs into a left-handed batter.
And he can throw it to your left-handed hitter. He'll throw it in the other box, and it'll cut right back over the out. You'll think, oh, ball.
Strike.
Strike.
Wow.
Or you'll think, ooh, it's right down the middle. Broken bat every
Here,
time.
I'll give you my Mariano Rivera stories. It's just 2 of them. I was facing him for the first time, and it was the bases were loaded, and Carlos Guillen was like, "Hey, Papi, most guys bat right-handed against because the ball will cut away from him." So I'm like, "Okay, 1 out." I swing, and I saw the ball come. I'm like, "Oh!" 1 hopper, 1, 2, 3 double play. Wow. So I'm like, forget this. I'm gonna bat left-handed. This time we're at Yankee Stadium. 1 out, bases loaded. 1, 2, 3 double play.
Yeah, he can keep that ball on the ground.
I mean, embarrassing. It's like you swing and then you see the ball move and then you try and change your swing during your swing. He really embarrasses you.
I tell you, and I just love the fact that he never tries to show anybody up. He just walks off the field. It's over. But I think he's great. I want to tell you one other thing too, and I want to make sure I qualify everything I'm about to say so people don't think this is like a racist thing or a bigoted thing. I love Latin players. I grew up in Miami. I have fantastic, great stories with some of my favorite players. But when a Latin guy doesn't speak the language really well, and he says, no, his English is really good. You should talk to Ronaldo about that. He'll come on the show. So he comes on the post-game show, right? And we have Ronaldo Garcia from Dominican. Just came up and he pitched a great game. You have to feel pretty good. And I know what I want to have here. I'm going to make on. And all I could say is, yeah, I guess so. I don't know what the hell. And it goes on, and then they start laughing. Think a funny story about that. And you're saying, what the hell is he saying? And I mean, I see a lot of the guys really work at the English, and it's great. But the game is 40% Latin now, so they don't even have to bother with the English anymore because they're Latin fans all over the planet, and they play to them, and that's fine. But it's so funny to do a post-game show with a guy. There's always a PR guy going, his English is perfect. He's got a hint of an accent, just a hint. Well, I tell you what, over here. What? And that's one of my biggest pet things. I could never. I wanted to love the guy, and I wanted to hear his stories, but it was so thick. Ozzy, perfect example. Ozzy, they had to put a translation on ESPN under his when he was on a post-game show. Well, they go here, they must have for him.
Oh my God,
Ozzy! You must have an Ozzy story anywhere?
No, but we do have a segment called "What the Fick Were You Thinking?" and that's sponsored by
Ozzy
Upper Deck because there's no cursing involved.
Mm-hmm. Or what the fick were you thinking?
I don't know.
This week is the Bears. I mean, what are they thinking?
Urlacher.
What are they thinking?
Well, the game is it's all about money now, but I think that sometimes teams, the Patriots too, didn't they with Welker?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not blaming the Patriots.
Well, Welker's wife got him out of there.
I don't know what it was, but sometimes these teams outthink themselves, and sometimes the players outthink. I mean, Loesch might, his agent, Boris might have, thought differently. Oh, don't worry, there'll be plenty of offers. He didn't get an offer till like this week. So I think that people can overthink stuff. I think Urlacher should have been a Bear for life. He should have been the Butkus of the new Butkus. And the idea that he's going to be playing somewhere else is ridiculous.
I know.
It's ridiculous.
100%.
I hate the Bears, but geez, man, Urlacher's the man.
It's ridiculous that happened.
He's the reason you fear the Bears.
Right. And he's the identifying image, the icon. I think that's what's happening with sports now. And there's no one particularly to blame. But between players jumping anywhere they want, from college to pro and team to team, and owners jumping whatever they want and do whatever they want, fans do, it's just you don't see the veteran guys that are there for the whole career anymore in any sport, virtually.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I mean, would you have loved if you could have played Detroit your whole career and made your whole career in Detroit? Would that have been great?
Well, for Robert, that was his first team. My first team were the Cardinals.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I would have loved Detroit. I do love Detroit.
See, I would have loved Cincinnati. That was a real fun place.
Why?
Well, when I got traded from St. Louis to Cincinnati, Jim Bowden gave me the opportunity to become a player, and Jack McKeon was the perfect manager. That was my favorite manager, by the way. Yeah. And he just let us go out there and play, and for 4 years in Cincinnati, I hit 300 or better. So I really learned
how are the fans? Kind of conservative in Cincinnati?
They're conservative when you're not winning, but they still love their team. But when they're winning,
how was it to
Cardinals fans are like
how
that
was
too,
it to
though.
play with Barry Larkin?
The captain? Oh yeah, he was great. He was the guy that showed me how to have fun out there on the baseball field.
You think he's having fun watching his son Shane play?
Oh my God,
so cool.
That's what a great thing. I'm a
Show
Miami.
him your ring. Show him your
Miami.
ring.
Yes.
I don't know if we got a camera of this, but this is my University of Miami National Championship ring there. Over this way. You want this on this way? And I'm rooting for my Canes. I don't know when this broadcast goes, if it's live or what.
It's live.
Well, go Canes, because I'd love to see it happen for them, but I don't know if they're going to
Go Shane.
Go Sugar Shane. Sugar Shane, baby. That's great. But you got it?
Get one more up there.
But the Canes have been a great story. I mean, Reggie, the big guy, Reggie Johnson, isn't making the trip. He got hurt.
Have you in all your years seen more wide open tournament than this?
It's pretty wild. This Florida Gold Coast thing.
Wow,
that is
awesome.
How about the coach's wife?
Yeah, supermodel. I was reading this today. You were mentioning that we want to talk a little bit about UCLA. This is an interesting thing. You're going to pay a guy, let's say, who's already got millions of dollars to come to UCLA with all that pressure. And he's in Fort Myers, Florida, raking it in with the supermodel wife. Why does he need to come here? Although that's a good call for them to get here. But then you got Shaka Smart.
Yeah.
I love that. And I love the guy from Butler. And
Stevens.
Stevens. Yeah, but he's kind of quiet. The thing is, and I talked about this on TV yesterday, there's such a pressure now to sell seats with these colleges. The Pauley Pavilion wasn't filled by any means most of the year. So they only had 5 games of 10,000 fans or more.
Wow.
And think about
that's
that.
Sad.
Yeah, it was sad. And they put all these renovations on. You need to sell seats, and you need to be an entertainer almost to be an entertaining team. You can win the conference, and they did. They did, and still lose your job.
25-10.
Not terrible.
3 Final Four appearances.
338, 30 wins.
Expecting more out of him, obviously.
Because he's under the specter of John Wooden. But what's happening in all of sports now is it's not enough even just to win. You got to win big. You got to win the trophies. You got to win the rings, or you're not good enough. And Howland was, I think, a very, very fine basketball coach. He was here for a decade. Next to Wooden, he had the most wins. But you got to be Glamour. You got to be Jimmy V. You got to be Mike Krzyzewski. You got to have these teams every year, right in the thick of it, every single year.
Howland always called timeouts after he made baskets. I hated that.
That's
true.
true.
Me insane.
That's true. That's true. But anyway, he'll be fine. I mean, they got to pay him out $3.5 million. And then there's one other issue.
He'll land on his feet.
Yes, he will. But there's one other issue that I bring up too, and that is, we're getting this message from professional sports that if things don't work, we'll just pay this guy off and bring another guy in. When it's a state school like UCLA, yeah, it's not coming from the taxpayers directly, but sooner or later, the student fees are going to have to go up to pay these guys, and the ticket prices at Pauley and all that stuff's going to happen. So it does have a trickle-down effect, I think, that when they fire a guy and they just put another $3 million on the barbecue, so to speak, it's going to cost somebody somewhere. The fans always get screwed. The price of a ticket for everything in any sport is ridiculous, except for if you want to sit in the bleachers way out and
And you need binoculars.
It's ridiculous. How much you guys go to the Staples Center? It's like you got to get a credit check just to get to the game. It's ridiculous.
Go through security checks and everything.
Man. I mean, it's not my favorite part of sports. And the other part of it is cable deals. You're going to see in your lifetime an Angel channel and a Dodger channel competing to a point where the Angels won't even mention the Dodgers at all, like they don't exist. I'm telling you. Dodgers too. Laker channel. And some people who don't even like sports are having to pay the fare. They don't want to do that. You're going to see a revolt. People are going to say, I don't want my cable costs to go ridiculous. It's already ridiculous as it is. And all of these deals, I mean, the Dodger deal is $8 billion?
Yeah.
You got to be kidding me. The Angel deal, all these deals are ridiculous, and it's changing the face of sports. Someone has to pay that fare. Someone is always the consumer.
Wow.
That's
some food for thought right
That's
there.
my thought.
You had me speechless.
Thought for the day.
So when are you coming back?
I love doing this.
Dad, when you coming back?
This was fun. Shane, come back.
This is a treat for us, man. I can't even say enough. My face hurts.
I
Smiling.
had a lot of fun, and the best thing about a great job is when it doesn't feel like a job. Right?
Yeah.
This doesn't feel like a job at all. This just feels like we're just shooting a bull.
That was cool, man.
Let's talk about next week for a second. We got thanks, Roy.
Okay, my pleasure.
Really appreciate it. We got the all-time pinch hit king,
Lenny Harris.
Oh, Lenny Harris is
Yes.
fantastic.
Yeah.
He's going to be called in. He was the hitting coach in 2007 in Washington when we were there.
Wow.
And he
played
helped
for the
me.
Dodgers. He played for the Reds.
We were teammates with the Reds, and he helped me win Comeback Player of the Year in 2007.
He can handle that stick.
Awesome.
And this guy,
dude.
too. This guy helped me get my life back together in Washington.
Cool. That's great.
Can you believe that? You guys can't believe that, can you?
That's great. Well, it was a great pleasure, man. And Babe says thanks, too.
Thank you, babe. Thank you, Muhammad Ali and
great.
and Howard Cosell for the
All right, thank you very much. I've had enough of this. Goodbye.
Roy Firestone on FYI.
We'll see you next week.
Peace.
GoCast Network.
Break 'em.